Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Run with Julia. I am back in Battersea Park. I spend a lot of time here, and actually I went for a 4-mile jog here this morning because I have this inclination to do a few more miles with half marathons appearing on the horizon. But tonight it is another RunThrough 5k, and I was just reflecting as I jogged here. I'm here nice and early. I'm here an hour early, which feels nice. I was reflecting. It's very hot. It's 28 degrees, very nice and cloudy, so it's actually gives it a feeling of coolerness, an evening cool. But I was reflecting how there's a lot talked about mindset, and I think really it's recognizing that the mind is a tool and that we need to be the master of our mind. And in my work with people who are clearing emotional trauma and pain, I teach them to clear the feeling from the body and not attach a narrative to it, because that creates a psychological drama and the loop that can get us stuck. And that can happen with running. We can be going to a race feeling not like it, feeling nervous, feeling we're not done enough training, feeling we might not get what we want. All of those are feelings, but they have a narrative. And so ultimately those sort of feelings in the body, whether they're a fluttery feeling, a sinking feeling, a heavy feeling, when we don't attach the narrative, we can just crack on in a different way. And instead, I think what's useful is to have a narrative like, I am where I am, it's okay. And that's emotional, in the midst of emotional stuff going on, but certainly at a race. And that way we can stay present, stay connected to ourselves, and just let the step take care of itself. Now, obviously, we can create the future in the moment. So we can, if we're going for a time, have a race strategy, a race plan, an idea of the kilometre splits, all of those things. But then we need to just let it go and trust and let the thing unfold. And I, tonight, don't particularly feel like going for a time. I feel like it's lovely that here on my doorstep, a mile from where I live, I can come and do a fast 5k, however fast it is. We will find out. I will put my watch on it today, in part because I wasn't in the results last time. So I'm going to go, and I'm here early so I can go and check that I'm on the system. But just in case, I've got my watch on, and I will time it just for my own interest. But I don't know whether I'll look as I go. Let's see. But I do think it's more about stilling the mind and being able to, because it often needs something to do. The very action of a mind is it thinks. So often it's hard for people to stop that. So often it's good to give it something else to do. For instance, I am where I am, it's okay. And sometimes mantras. I did a whole marathon once in the Grand Cayman, where I arrived in December and I hadn't really done any warm weather training. I wasn't even particularly marathon fit. And I stood on the start line at 5 a.m. in 25 degrees and sweating. I was like, okay, I might have to readjust my plan a bit. And I went the whole way around. I dropped my heart rate. I could run a heart rate then. This was 2006 or something. I could run on a heart rate of 165 for a marathon, but I dropped it to 160. And I just said the whole way around the marathon, I love you, thank you, thank you, I love you, I love you, thank you, thank you, I love you, which is a Krishna Das, who does a lot of yoga chanting. It's one of his mantras. Anyway, I'm off to the village to go and see if I can sort my time chip out and see what happens. Just had a lovely conversation with Emma, who is the marketing community amazing manager, and the pass holder lady, and the confusion about my results. So what we've decided is I'm going to wear a number and put a chip on for a number, and I'm going to wear my chip, and we will find out what's working and what's not. So there's a process of elimination, but I'll definitely get a result because I've been given another number. So in the absence of my cameraman, who hasn't arrived yet, we are doing an amazing thing where my arms stretched, and I have with me Sally, Lilia, Sally, there.
Lilia,
and Claire. And they follow me.
We do.
So we've got a follower. So now what we need to do is hear about your running. So Claire, tell me.
I do what Sally tells me to do. Claire's done 58 park runs and she's got a PB of 28:02.
Wow, well done.
Some half marathons. And she's done some 27s this year.
When did you start running?
About 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years.
Wow, and you coach, Sally, you coach
I
Claire.
sort of do. Unofficially, I've done 350 odd park runs, 352. My PB is 23:27.
Well done, wow. And when
I'm
did
trying
you
to get back
start?
down. I started at Banstead in 2011.
Wow, how fabulous. So that is lots of years
A
ago.
long time ago.
Lots of years ago.
A long time ago.
And Lilia?
I started when I
Once
was
you're all in.
around 4 years old.
Wow.
And now I'm 18.
Wow.
And I've done over 250 park runs.
Gosh, did your
And my-
mother make you go running?
Yeah, she did.
I did make her.
She did make a
She
bar. I
asked
enjoyed
to
it.
go. First
and
one was in Wellies, I think.
My PB is around 24 minutes.
Oh, wow, well
Yeah,
done.
I did that when I was 13.
The husband arriveth.
Oh,
The husband arriveth. Do you want to come in on this side of the camera? He's normally the other side, isn't
Hello.
he?
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Anadi arriveth. There we
Hello.
are. Look, I found a gang of fans.
I love
think
followers.
They're
I follow
fans.
her on
Followers.
YouTube.
Followers.
She's lovely.
We are,
Yes,
yeah.
lovely.
And we're all going to run tonight.
We are.
Yeah.
We're all ready.
Yeah.
And we're doing 10k.
It's
Yeah.
28 degrees.
I know.
Really,
It's too hot,
but, you
really.
know,
Are you?
this is an excuse not
It
to
does,
do
doesn't it? Are you all doing 10k?
Well, Claire and
my
I are.
God.
Lilia's
I
doing
know.
5.
Oh, good. Lilia,
Yeah.
Lilia and me are the
Yeah.
we can then cheer.
Exactly.
So how exciting! I was come to find you, and I found them.
you.
Yeah. I found her too.
Fabulous.
Good luck.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone. Bye. We found each other. Now he's behind the camera. I went and warmed up, and he went and May sorted out my chip. He's nodding. So I now are going to have a number and a chip, but I'm also going to put on my pass holder chip and see whether I get them both. I have to. So I'm now chipped up. I have a chip on each foot. I'm sure I'll be in the system now. Double whammy. And we've got Henry at the end to clarify everything. Now I'm going to do some drills because we've got 10 minutes. I like something. I have to say I don't feel particularly like I've got a lot of vroom, but you never know. You never know. Oh look, they're all gathering. I better gather. 5 minutes, 4 minutes to go.
30 seconds before I start your countdown, lovely people. Remember. 3, 2, 1.
I see you, big man.
Simon, Edward, what a run! Brilliant sunshine! Fantastic finish, even to put the right speed if you're timid. What a run, what an evening, and what a winning way to spend your Wednesday. Congratulations, Rose, heading very well done, your champion. You've done it. Julia, I know you're a great way finish. Rose, you are doing so well!
That was very hard, and interestingly, I think I ran 23:40, but it was much harder running that than my 22:02, and I think there are many reasons. One, it's hot. Two, as I said in my last video, I was going to the Osteopath, and I had an incredible assessment and treatment which definitely jiggled up my body, and in a good way, because it has to bring stuff up. But I had this weird sensation in my leg, kind of weird, sort of nervy pain. Not pain so much, nervy sensation, that they might just collapse. So I just kept rhythm, kept relaxed, knew that I was probably running slower, but I didn't look at my watch for that reason. But yeah, it doesn't say at the moment. But my average heart rate was 159, so that's kind of what I raced on. 20 disappeared. But you can only do what you can do. And I'm always, now I've really let go of attachment to where it comes. I genuinely have no disappointment, which is a lovely thing, because as a young runner that was a lot of what used to go on. But I just think, well done. We turned up, we did it, we met fabulous Sally, Claire and Lilia. Wonderful to meet you all. Thank you for coming and being in Run with Julia. I loved it. Hope you all have an amazing 10k. Lilia may have crossed the line. We can see if we can find her. But thank you all for running with me and journeying with me as I keep on keeping on. We're on Chelsea Bridge. I want to catch the bus. We're going to go and have some food in a lovely Indian restaurant, which is approximately 3/4 of a mile away. And I said to Bernardi, let's get the bus. So we're waiting at the bus stop. I ran 23:32 and I'm very happy with that, because I went, as I said in my last video, I was going to see an osteopath, and I had an insight. I was in Gozo and I was running up a hill, and I remembered that 8 years ago we were still digital nomads. I landed in Richmond and my back was playing up due to having been in the mountains and run a retreat there and been up and down. And I saw this young man, well, he feels young, I don't know what age he is, and he did the most amazing treatment, and I just saw him once. Anyway, I was in Gozo and he came into my thoughts, and I was like, I'm going to find him because I feel he could be helpful. I'm just seeing, is this our bus? No, we've got time. Not our bus. And so I googled Osteopath Richmond, because I knew that then I'd remember his name, and his name's Costa. Anyway, I went to see him on Monday, and it was absolutely brilliant to see him again. And he basically pointed out all the imbalances and said that lots of people, he said it was amazing, my body, and that he said a lot of people with all of the kind of conditions and imbalances and stuff in my body, he said, you know, people are hobbling with everything you've got. He said it demonstrates your attitude, it demonstrates all the exercises you do, it demonstrates your willingness to keep aligning and looking after yourself. And then I said to him that I feel like maybe I'd like to do, I said lots of my age group are retiring at 65, and I said, but I don't want to retire. And he said, but maybe your work has just begun, and maybe this is a blank page and you can do more work on your body and give it more space and more time to align. And I was like, yes, blank page. Anyway, since the treatment, which was great, I was with him an hour and a half, jiggled my body around, and I definitely felt a bit weird shall I say, running tonight. Here's our bus, I think. No, not yet. And I knew that when you jiggle things around and start the process, even if it's going to be good, it's bringing stuff up, and obviously the body has to adjust. So I think well done, body, for running like you did tonight, because it did feel odd. Tonic water. Lovely meal. It's really lovely place. Great India. Sloane Street, if you're ever around in London, I can recommend. Is it Sloane Street? Nadi's looking.
Isn't it Chelsea Bridge Road?
Chelsea Bridge Road. Similar. It's near Sloane Square. And thank you for running with me, and thank you so much, Claire, Sally and Lilia. What fun to meet you, really was. I hope you had good runs. Do let me know. Tell us, tell all of us, the one with Julia gang. It's a huge gang of us. Do please let us know how you ran. And I am very happy with my run. As I said at the finish, the wonderful thing about letting go of an attachment to outcome does mean that when the body isn't quite on it, I have to say I didn't recognise my body wasn't quite on it, and it did feel very hard. It's very funny, isn't it, when you run it feels hard and it's actually quite a bit slower, because if I'm to run further than 5Ks, I do want to make sure that I've had this, as I've talked to you all before, I have this wonky back, the fourth vertebrae's out, and I've got this like scoliosis. But because of that, I've worked with it over 40 years. This last year, I've had a bit more sciatic pain because I ran up and down a run in Greece, which was a bit extreme. But I've not been quite the same for this whole year, so I've been working with it. But I thought if I'm to do some more miles, I really need to go deeper and investigate how to free myself. So watch this space, and thank you so much for running with me, and I really look forward to ongoing adventures, and yes, let's see what happens as I ongoing work with this process. And I would encourage everybody, if we've got imbalances in our body, it's amazing what you can do. Costa just said to me, it's awesome what you do to align yourself with these complications, and we can all do it. It does take discipline, and it does take consistency, and it does take finding out the people to help us. But honestly, it's incredible what we can do with, I'm not saying run on things that aren't good to run on, but I am saying that we can do more than we think. So I will see you next time, and yeah, thumbs up, noddies to auto cue. If you've liked the video, please put your thumbs up, and thank you for running with Julia.